Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell. Welcome to Week in Review. This is a video that we do every week where we just go through all the games that we played, all the videos we made, and you can see if you want to watch the full thing. All you got to do that is check the links in the description below. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, I'm Z Garcia. Here's what I did last week. So I reviewed Ragnarocks, which I gave a 7 out of 10 to. This is an abstract game with some interesting ideas. Not a particularly original or innovative game, but a good-looking game and one that functions well and includes a lot of variety in the box because of the special abilities. It's going to have a hard time not being compared to Santorini, from which it suffers, but it's still a solid game on its own, one I'm happy to play. I reviewed Solforge Fusion, which I also gave a 7 out of 10 to. This one is a sort of trading card game feeling game, much like Keyforge. And in this one, the algorithm has created these decks. You take 2 of them, you shuffle them together and play. That's the idea, that's the concept. It's a really cool concept, and the game has a built-in leveling up system that works tremendously well. Unfortunately, it's also not much of a looker, and there's a lot of upkeep in it. It requires you to be very concentrated on not missing something you need to do. Otherwise, in about 6 turns, you'll realize, oops, I made a mistake and forgot to grab a card and move it over to somewhere else when I needed to. Now I need to go back and stop the game while I fix a previous mistake, an upkeep mistake. But the game is engaging, and it's one I'd be happy to explore some more, and I probably will. I reviewed Tazmania, which is an expansion to Auztralia. This is an expansion specifically for 1 or 2 players, and I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. In this one, you get a new double-sided map, one pre-printed map, which works very well for, again, 2 players. And then on the other side, a randomized map with tiles, and you can make up that map as you go. Or rather, you randomize it at the beginning, and so things will end up in strange places. I think the box is a little bit of a mixed bag for me because I was hoping for more distinct content. The map and what is in there is very good. The solo mode has a lot going on, but it demands of you that you play a campaign. It could have had stronger, clearer rules for that new updated solo mode also. So what is in there and what I'm utilizing of it, I really like. It leaves me wanting, though, a little bit because I was hoping for more distinct, unique kind of ideas to be brought to the table. And then lastly, I reviewed Trekking Through History, which I rate a 9 out of 10. This is a fantastic game, family weight sort of game in which you are, trekking through history. And you are collecting cards, taking tokens, filling in this itinerary. The whole thing is stupendous looking. It is quick. It is fun. It's going to teach you a little bit about history if you wanted to. It can be played very light and passively almost if you want it to be. You can dive a little bit deeper and look for some subtleties in tactics and strategies if you wanted to. And I enjoy that. I think this one is a tremendous success, like I said. So there you go. That's it for me. My name is Z Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey everyone, Chris here. This week I took a look at 3 games. The first of which was Dulce. This is a beautiful cover, fantastic looking game. I gave this a 4. I didn't really like it. Simultaneous card play, that it didn't feel like there was enough there. The little hook of the game of cascading ingredients, it didn't do enough for this one. Too light, too little. Dulce a 4. Next up, I took a look at Ahoy! Great title. I gave this game an 8 because it's also a great game. This is from Leader Games. Asymmetric factions, 2 of which are warring, 2 of which are pickup and delivering, making the different islands worth more to war over. Really like this one. Charming, beautiful, very fun. Make sure to check out that review for Ahoy. I gave it an 8. And lastly, Skymines. This is a re-implementation of Mombasa, one of my top 10 games of all time. I gave Skymines a 9.5. I give the original Mombasa a 10. This is mostly due to clarity, visual ability to scan and read all of the cards and everything. Just, that's the only downside. There's a few new modules and stuff in there. I also did a separate video where I did a straight Mombasa versus Skymines comparison. You can see the cards, you can see the boards, what size of things are different and everything, so make sure to also check out that review. But I give Skymines a 9.5. Still an amazing game. If this is the copy you can pick up, I recommend it. So That's been my week.
Roy Canady here, and this week I took a look at one game, and that is from Red Raven Games and Ryan Lockett Art, and that is Nightfall, which I gave a 7.5. Very deterministic, like tactical game where you're trying to figure stuff out. You're either demons or knights trying to beat each other down. It was a lot of fun. Make sure to check out that review.
Hey everybody, just one for me this week. I took a look at Dulce. This was quite a disappointment. I came in at a 4.5 on this game. I found the gameplay to be kind of boring, for lack of a better word. I kind of always knew what I wanted to do each turn, and so the card draw, the kind of bingo-esque nature of the cards did not do much for me, and the components I had a lot of issues with. So 4.5 for Dulce. Let's keep going.
Hi, I'm Wendy Yee, and this week I reviewed 3 different games. The first game is Ahoy. I gave it a 6.5. It has asymmetrical factions, and I really disliked the area control ones, but then I absolutely really enjoyed it and was surprised how much I enjoyed the pick up and deliver faction. So that one was a 6.5 for Ahoy. Magic Mountain is the next game. I gave it a 7. It's a cute little kids game where you're rolling marbles down a ramp, trying to get your witches to move and not the opposing witches to move. So it's cooperative, it's cute, it's for kids, and I gave that a 7. And then finally, Skymines is the last game. I gave it an 8.5. This is a Mombasa reprint. One side of the board is exactly like Mombasa. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It has some of the upgrades and the things that I appreciate, some different tracks and stuff. And then the other side is mostly Mombasa, but a slightly different map. I enjoyed some of the things, and some things more than Mombasa, some things less than Mombasa. So you have to check out that review. So once again, I'm Wendy Yee, and let's see who's next.
Hello everyone, this week I reviewed Jabba's Palace Star Wars Love Letter. This is a good twist that isn't necessarily brilliant for brand new players, because it's a little harder to teach, but I still loved it and gave it an 8 out of 10.
Hey there everybody, it's Mike Delicio, and this week I was part of a number of reviews. First off was Ragnarocks. I gave this a 5.5 out of 10. It's a abstract game that is kind of a follow-up to another abstract game called Santorini by the same designer. And I much prefer Santorini to this game. This is kind of built around an area control or area majority mechanism. And I just didn't like that as a core mechanic nearly as much as I liked kind of the tactical movement element of Santorini. So it's an okay abstract, just not really my cup of tea. Coming up next was Bag of Chips, which I gave a 7 out of 10. A very, very silly, light party game where you are pulling out colored chips out of a literal bag, and you are trying to kind of play scoring cards that are going to match what color chips come out. Again, very silly, very chaotic, not to be taken terribly seriously, but a fun party game. Next up was Nightfall, which I rated a 7.5 out of 10. This is the newest game from Red Raven Games. And while Ryan Lockett did not design the game, he helped with the art and did a campaign element. This is a very interesting team-based game where one team is playing as knights, another team is playing as demons, and you are trying to gain points in different ways on a shared board of 9 tiles. A really interesting tactical game with a little bit of messiness involved. It's kind of chaotic, very tactical, as I said, but I enjoyed it. 7.5 out of 10. Next up was Ahoy, which I gave an 8 out of 10. This is another kind of it's not a team-based game, but it's an asymmetric game where there are 4 factions. 2 of them are playing a pick up and deliver game. 2 of them are playing an area control game. And I feel like it really pulls off that kind of little trick well, where you are all in the shared board made up of tiles that are, the ocean. It's a pirate-themed game. But it's really, really clever how the interaction takes place between those factions. I like it a lot. And then finally is Trekking Through History, which I gave a 9 out of 10, a seal of excellence, and a very, very clear, excellent game. This is the latest in a series of games that this publisher has put out, trekking the national parks, trekking the world, and now Trekking Through History. It's the most distinct of any of the games in that series, and I really think that it does everything it sets out to do fantastically. It's a light game, but with some very, very good decisions to make and easy to teach. Very welcoming game with a great theme and incredible aesthetic and look and production. I just struggle to think of many things that they could have done better with this game. I really, really like Trekking Through History. All right, well, that's it for me this week. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, so for me, first of all, Sleeping Queens 2, a sequel to the original game. This one is great for kids, younger kids. It has math in it. I know it sounds bad, but it's great for kids. 6 out of 10, but again, realizing who it's for, lower elementary. Magic Mountain, another kids game. This is Plinko, where you're rolling marbles down. This won the Kinderspiel Award. I really like it. I don't know how much the replayability is, but for kids, it's a lot of fun to roll marbles down a hill. 7 out of 10. Bag of chips, stupidity in a bag. You're pulling chips from a bag and kind of doing a little bit of blackjack poker, trying to guess which chips are going to come out. It's kind of a dumb game, but I like it anyway, so 7 out of 10. I just wish the bag was bigger. Ragnarocks. This one's another 7 out of 10 for me. I like Ragnarok's. This is a 2-player abstract game, a sequel to Santorini. I just wish the special abilities were stronger. I wish the production, there's a few problems with production, and I don't necessarily like the art, but it's still a decent cooperative game. So, not cooperative, competitive abstract game, 7 out of 10. Asking for Trobils, me and my daughters looked at the fancy deluxe version of that. I don't like the expansions much. I would give them some pretty low scores, but the base game is still an 8 out of 10, a great worker placement game. Funkoverse, I took a look at a couple of the expansions for that, Peter Pan and Captain Hook. Captain Hook is a great character. Peter Pan's a solid character too. If you like the Disney version of them, 8 out of 10. Z and me took a look at Solforge Fusion. I never played Solforge before. Fusion, it's like Keyforge where every deck is different, but you have 2 decks and shuffle them together. Great game. I gave it an 8. I would have given it higher, but the production and graphic design, and there's a little bit of fiddliness I don't like. Despite all that, still very fun. Nightfall is a 2 versus 2 game or cooperative. I don't like the cooperative game. I'd give the cooperative game like a 5 out of 10. But the competitive game, 8 out of 10. It's neat. It just feels different. It's kind of like a Wiz War, but with more control. Funkoverse, another expansion I looked at was the Universal Monsters, all black and white. I really like this one. Some of the best characters in the game, Dracula and the Bride, really great characters, 8.5. And the Castles of Mad King Ludwig Deluxe. The Suburbia Deluxe Edition actually feels like it's not as good as Suburbia. That is not the case with Castles of Mad King Ludwig. This is a wonderful deluxe edition, so easy to set up with great expansions, 9 out of 10. I also took a look at the top 10 GameRight games. I reviewed a shelf. I did how I paint it. Well, I didn't paint, but I had people paint and fix up X-Men United, a Kickstarter, look back. No, I didn't do that this week. I did other videos, though. You can check them out in the description below. But the biggest video we did this week is the worst box covers of all time, as voted on by you. That's what we did this week here in the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vassell. We'll see you next time.